Hey everybody. So today let's try to learn how to use patterns in Fusion 360. And to do that, let's design or draw a 1-2-3 block. And if you don't know what a 1-2-3 block is, it's sometimes called a machinist block. It's a 1 inch by 2 inch by 3 inch highly machined piece of steel. Most times, I suppose it could be made out of other materials, aluminum, stainless steel, perhaps. And typically they have holes drilled in them. I do have I had an image or some images pulled up on Google. They look like this. They don't always have holes in them, but we're going to use the pattern of holes to help us or to use to demonstrate how to use patterns in Fusion. As you can see down here, they can come with no holes or different arrangements, but we're going to go with the 3 rows of 5 on the top, and then a single row on the side and on the front. Yeah, so let's get started. So I'm in Fusion 360. I'm looking straight down from the top, and I'm going to start a new sketch by clicking Create Sketch, and we'll click on that plane to get our sketch going. And we are going to create a rectangle. We're going to do a 2-point rectangle. And I'm going to snap to the reference point of our origin. And I'm going to go 3 wide. And I'll hit the tab key to tab into the other field. And we'll go 2 deep. And I'll type enter. And now we have our rectangle. I'll slide this centered up a little bit. I'm gonna hold my shift key down and my center mouse button just to rotate that a little bit, so we have a little more of a perspective view. At this point, I can finish our first sketch. I'm gonna select this face. I'm gonna type E for extrude. I don't need to set my operation. I can just type in 1 inch. And here we go. We have a 1-2-3 block with no holes in it. So now we want to create our holes. So to do that, we're going to create a new sketch, and we'll do it on the top face. And I'm going to make 2 reference lines. So I'm going to go create line, and I'm going to come over to my sketch palette, and I'm going to choose construction as my line type. I'm just going to draw 2 lines at this point. I want it parallel to the edges. So you can see I have the little right angle box telling me my new line is perpendicular to that edge. So I'm happy with that. I'm still in the create line mode, so I'll draw my second line anywhere. At this point, I don't need to place it exactly where it's going to end up. So here again, I want to make sure that I'm parallel with the edge, so I can move this around till I get my little right angle icon to appear, and click it, and I'll type escape to get out of the draw line mode, and we have our 2 lines. Now I'm going to dimension those to be 0.5 inches offset from the edge. So my intersection of the 2 lines is a 1/2 inch offset from each edge. Now I can create my circle, and I believe the diameter of the circles in a 1-2-3 block are 3/8 of an inch. We'll do a center point circle, and so this is why I drew my lines, is because now I have a place I can snap the center of my circle to. So as soon as that snaps to the center, I'll click it and bring my circle out, and I'll just type in .375. Now that drew a construction line, and I don't want that to be a construction line, so I'm going to select it and turn construction line off over here. So now I have a solid blue line. I still have it while I have the circle selected. I'm going to come to create rectangular pattern. And I believe my top number is going to be across. Yes, so we want that. I just drug that out a little bit so I can more easily see what's going on. And I'm going to tell it I want 5 circles across and then 3 down. So now we have a pattern of circles. I can kind of get that rough to where I think it's going to be. And we could do the math, but kind of cheated here. I just drew it over, drug it over. And I kind of had the idea in my head that it's about 2 inches. So I was right. The Fusion proved it for me. So we want this number to be -2. And we want down, I believe we want that to be 1. And then I can hit enter. So there we have our array of circles. So at this point, I can finish the sketch. And I can select each. I'm going to hold my shift key down and select each individual circle. Maybe there's an easier way to do this. If you know, leave it in the comments. By the way, I'm not a Fusion expert. I've only been using the software for maybe about a year. So if you know a better way to do something, by all means, leave it in the comments. So now I'm going to type E for extrude. And again, I could change my operation over here, but I don't need to. If I just pull it down, it's going to cut, automatically switch to cut. Say OK. Wait for the computer to catch up. So now we have our 3/8 holes all the way through our body. I could thread these. I could select these faces. So some 1, 2, 3 blocks will have threaded holes. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on threading today. I have another video on my channel about making threaded parts. But we could select those and come over here and create threads. And as simple as that, and thread all these holes. Not going to do it for this video. So now we need to make our holes on our front face. So we're going to create a new sketch by clicking Create Sketch. Select this face, create line. We're going to go to the center. So you see the little triangle that popped up? That's telling me I'm centered between the 2 edges. And I'll drag that over and set my line. I'll make another line here. This line will need to dimension. I believe that's going to remain 0.5. And again, we need these to be construction lines. So I'll select them both. Turn them into construction lines. Create a circle. .375. I could set this number because I'm using it over and over again. Any dimension that you use repeatedly can be set up as hit enter there too. Let me show you. Can be set up in your parameters, so you don't have to remember the number. I could just record it in the parameters table and reference it. I'd call it hole diameter, for instance. But but I wasn't thinking far enough ahead for this to do that. So I believe in one of my videos talks about setting up parameters. Maybe we'll do another video on that. But for now, let's continue with this. I'm going to select that circle, create rectangular pattern. Again, I'm going to drag it over there just so I can kind of see what's going on. I know I want 5. Kind of get it close, and I know it's going to be the same number as on the top, 2. And we'll say, okay, we're not going to do any vertical ones. Again, we're going to select all the circles on the inside. E for extrude, and we're going to push those through. There we go. Now we need to do the same here on our edge, or on our side, I guess. We're going to create a new sketch. On this face, we're going to draw another center line. We want that line to be construction line. Create another line, another construction line. This one we need to dimension to a 1/2 inch. Draw our circle. We're going to snap it to that intersection there. 0.375. Don't want the circle to be construction. We want it to be a solid line. While we have it selected, we'll go ahead and create a rectangular pattern. And drag it over to just about where we think it goes. And go ahead and type in the exact dimension, which is 1 inch. Click enter. Hold the shift key down to select all 3. E for extrude. Cut our holes. Say okay. And there is our 1, 2, 3 block. At this point, we could export the body, do a save as mesh. Call it a 1, 2, 3 block. Now I have an STL file of this. I could 3D print it. I might even try that. I'm not sure. 1, 2, 3 blocks are pretty inexpensive, anywhere from $10 to $20 for a set of 2. I don't know that it'd be worth the time to 3D print a 1, 2, 3 block. Maybe I will try it. I don't know. But the purpose of this today was just to use the 1, 2, 3 block as an example for patterns and how to use them. Pretty simple stuff. I hope that helps you get going in Fusion. Any questions, any comments, feel free to leave them below. And if you want me to keep making videos like this, subscribe. Give me some motivation. I'll keep doing them. Thank you.